explaining Trump's secret plane switching caper with my son's toys.
But if I go, you go, right?
You might remember a story from a few weeks ago that Donald Trump unexpectedly switched planes on the way back from his trip to Turkey for the NATO summit. We're only just now learning that that story was a lot weirder than we thought it was. Last day of the conference, Donald Trump says on Truth Social that he's not flying home in this plane after all. He's actually flying home in this plane for old time's sake.
And we'll be going home by normal methods.
Anyway, now the Washington Post has come out with this jaw-dropping scoop reporting that Trump wasn't on this plane either. Donald Trump's security team decided that even this more heavily guarded plane wasn't safe enough for the president to fly home on. So, under cover of darkness, in a Hollywood-style operation, Donald Trump left Air Force One in a catering truck. He hopped out a door on the bottom of the plane into a catering truck, and the catering truck took him to a third plane. Look, I ran out of aeroplane. I need you to focus up. This is a US Air Force C-32A. It's a smaller aeroplane than the big 747 Air Force One. So, with Qatar Force One already in the air, and everyone thinking Donald Trump was in this plane, when in fact, he was here, they all flew to RAF Middenhall in Suffolk and recombobulated for the trip across the Atlantic. So here's a question that hasn't really been covered. If the plan was to use a decoy all along, why not use this plane? Why did this plane even have to be involved? According to the New York Times, one of the differences between this plane and this plane is that this one does not have that door on the bottom, which allowed Trump to get on to a catering truck under cover of darkness. The extra fun thing about him being trundled off in a van is that people have started calling it the Eras Tour manoeuvre. Real ones know. If they hadn't used this old fella, the whole caper would have been a lot more difficult. So now we're all caught up and have got over the fact that I'm using toys to tell this story. Why does any of it matter? Well, first of all, it means the Trump administration has been lying for weeks about where Trump was on that day and how he travelled from Turkey to the United States. And the other thing is, once Trump was whisked off in his catering truck to his nondescript plane and flown out of Turkey, there were still several members of his staff and the entire travelling press corps who had no idea that they were on a plane that the US Secret Service thought there was a credible chance wasn't going to make it back home.
Were you aware of any credible threat by Iran against Air Force
Well, I have
One?
a threat all the time. I'm number one on their list before you. But if I go, you go, right?